Good evening, everyone. My name is Prashant Dhingra. I'm CEO and founder of Waterly Inc. Today, we'll talk about Waterly mission. We will discuss about our leadership team. Then we'll discuss our solution and how it will make difference in people's life. We'll go through the target market of our solution, and we will also discuss the 3-year roadmap and financial projection. At the end, there will be time for Q&A. If you have any question in between, feel free to interrupt me. Waterly mission is to save lives and property by making water flow prediction. Why this is important? US government has spent $20 billion in setting up measurement stream gauges across US. There are 8,000 such gauges. It takes $200 million every year to operate these gauges. The problem is these gauges break time to time. Even bigger problem is these gauges breaks when they are needed most at the time of flood and storm. Waterly wants to save life and want to ensure that the data that these stream gauges are expected to give are always available. We will use artificial intelligence to build such data set, and we will be able to share this with emergency response team. And using that, we'll be able to save life and property. Why we are the right team to do it? I'm Prashant Dhingra. I'm founder and CEO. I have a lot of experience of building artificial intelligence and machine learning solution. I worked at Google. I also worked at Microsoft machine learning teams. I worked at Bing. I have worked with National Water Center, and I've also written a chapter in NOAA book about similar problem. With me, I have Mark Greenfield and Christopher M. They are domain expert of this area. Mark has 20 years of experience working in hydrology department in Washington, D.C. He knows the challenges, why this area is important, and what kind of issues government runs into. Christopher also work at University of Texas. He worked with a lot of research team to solve similar problem. David Lynn has worked in emergency response team. He has a lot of expertise about how emergency response team use this kind of a data to save people life. Yang Chen is our chief data officer. He has worked at Yahoo, Google, and eBay, and he brings a lot of big data expertise. So together with Yang Chen big data expertise, my expertise in artificial intelligence, we can build that technical solution. And Mark and Christopher brings the domain expertise, and David knows the need of our customer. So we believe we have a lot of expertise to build this solution, and we all have a passion to build this. How we will solve this problem? Today, a stream gauge collects data every 15 minutes, and this data is transmitted to USGS site. If the gauge is broken, there's nothing much can be done, and the data remains missing, and sometimes it takes 6 months to replace a gauge. If the gauge breaks during the time of rain, flood, then the emergency response team can't determine whether there is a risk or not. Places like Alaska, Idaho, Montana, where there are a lot of such storm comes, the risk is very high, and the gauges at these locations break much more often. With Waterly solution, which will be machine learning based, we will be able to use the historical data of USGS and the recent data of nearby location. We'll be able to build a machine learning based virtual gauge that will predict how much is the water flow at each location. As the gauge is virtual, it will not be costly and it will not break at the time of flood. And physical gauge can only be used at 8,000 location, and it's very costly to add more gauges. But with the virtual gauges, we will make it much more granular, and we'll have data about 2 million locations. and we'll be able to predict the street level detail. So with timely data, with the street level detail and no risk of breaking the gauge, we will be able to determine where there is a risk of flood even before the rain starts. And with that knowledge, one will be able to save life where there is a risk of flood. So our target market is consumers. The household want to know whether their house and property is at risk of flooding. Insurance company wants to know what is the risk for every property so that they can insure it accordingly. Tour operator and hotel needs to know if there is a risk of flood, then they will not plan a tour for river crafting, etc., because then the tourist will be at risk. Farmer wants to know uh, like how to plant their agriculture and crop, and if there is a risk, they will not go to those farms. Government agencies, city council, state government have ownership to save people life. If they know precisely where there is a risk, they can prioritize their resources better. Otherwise, if they have to move thousands of people around, it becomes impossible for them to take any corrective action. We will be providing our solution in three formats. We will be providing flood alert, which will be at street level. We'll be providing flood risk score, and we'll be providing a real-time flood map. So household will be able to sign up for flood alert. Uh, Using flood risk score, insurance companies and hotel can determine what is the risk to their property, and real-time flood map, government agencies or private agencies can use it to plan um, whether they need to evacuate at a certain location or not. How we will make progress? We'll start in 2021. We will first collect the data required, then we'll set up a cloud infrastructure, and then we'll build machine learning model. We expect to have first three steps done in 7 or 8 months, and then we'll be able to sell alerts across the US. These alerts will not be granular, but we'll be able to have alerts around 15,000 location instead of 8,000 location at USGS. Then we will continue to extend our solution, and we'll build a risk score map, and we'll be able to sell the risk score map to various insurance companies and tour operators. Then we will continue to extend our solution as we generate more granular detail, and we will have data about 2 million location. We'll be able to sell real-time alerts, real-time flood map at various locations. So our yearly growth plan looks like this, that 2021 first 7 months we'll be spending most of the time on development, and then we'll start selling, so we'll have a revenue of around $2 million. In 2022 we'll have a revenue of $7 million. So in 2022 our not only will be selling alerts, we'll also be selling significant amount of risk report and some amount of real-time map. In 2023, we'll get a turbo boost sale from real-time map as we start producing street level details for 2 million locations. We will be able to generate $22 million. So we'll be focusing on US market, and in US we have 8,000 locations where USGS provide data. We'll be providing across the US in 15,000 location in 2021, and then we'll go at street level by 2023, 2 million location. We intend to remain in this business, and we hope that after 5 years we'll be able to get an IPO. However, there are other options also available. The work we do is very interesting to water management companies and map management companies like Kister and ISRI can benefit a lot from our work, and they probably will want to merge, acquire with us. Property insurance company will like to buy our company for a competitive advantage because they can insure the property much better. Our goal is that we are passionate about this area and we want to remain in this business. And after 5 years, we will like to get an IPO. Thanks for your time today. Do let me know any questions you have.